Mike Douglas is Michigan's retirement coach.
All right, so for this next half hour, we're going to keep things light because you know what we know? People that listen to Wood Radio, they've got headlines coming at them all the time. And sometimes we just need to laugh a little. So that's what we're going to do this half hour. We're going to have some jokes.
There's a lot of heavy news.
There's
in the
a lot
world
going
right now.
on. There's a lot going on.
A lot of heavy news.
So that's what I was saying. We're going to keep it light.
Easy like Sunday morning. That's what we're doing. Keeping it easy like Sunday morning.
Grab a cup of coffee, turn up the radio. We're here for you to keep things light this morning. All right. You and your beautiful wife, Kimberly, proud parents of 4 beautiful, healthy young children.
Yep.
What lies do you say to these children to keep them in line?
I love you all evenly. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I don't have a favorite.
Oh, gosh. No. Well, I joke it the opposite way.
Yeah.
Say, listen, the will is set up 25% each. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it
They're
up.
getting older, though, and you're teaching them about being a jokester, and so they're starting to joke back at you.
Oh, yeah.
And so sooner or later, Mike, the jokes about the home that they're going to put you in are going to start rolling back your way.
It'll come back for sure.
It's coming for you. It's coming for you for sure. All right. Well,
they're still on our payroll right now at home, so I still get to wield that. But all my clients and everybody lets me know, like, your day's coming, buddy.
So watch out. All right. Well, if we were to reflect back on our childhoods, anybody that grew up in the 70s, 80s, you're very likely familiar with this thing. I don't know how the grown-ups, how the parents were able to spread this message across, it seems, the entire United States. This is comedian Mal Hall. He's been doing comedy for over 20 years. He was up on stage talking about the childhood memory that I believe will very likely be familiar to you.
When you guys were kids, did your parents tell you that it was illegal to use the dome light in the car at night? How did these veteran parents get that one around the country? Pre-internet. Did they all just call a parent, hey, tell 10 other parents this live? Here's the crazy thing about that one. So I'm 40 years old. If you're in my car tonight after the show and we need to find something, that light is on and then off immediately. Because as a 40-year-old man, I'm still not sure if that's true or not, and I don't want to test it.
Same Mal Hall. Did your parents tell you this? Did you hear this as a kid growing up?
Oh, yeah. Especially on our long trips we used to take. So we've driven out to Delaware my whole life for family vacations.
Yeah.
And which is where everybody wants to go on family vacation, is obviously Delaware. But no, we would see it all the time. It was the lights got to go off. And I do it with my kids.
One
I still do
wonders,
it.
where does that
I don't know what it is, but I'm like,
from?
And we'll be driving in our Yukon, and I'm in the front, and there's 3 rows. The kid in the 3rd row has the light on. I'm like, hey, what are we doing back there? Like, it's just such a weird ingrained thing where I'm like, what are you doing?
You'll get pulled over. You'll get a ticket. I did a quick Google search on it, and it is urban legend. It's not real. So
it's not a law.
I don't know what the deal is with that. But here we are all these years later. So many of us Gen Xers that continue on, never driving with the light on, with the dome light on in their car. That's a myth. That's an urban legend that we can laugh about. I mean, because it's harming nobody. You know, at the end of the day, no problems are happening there. However, when it comes to retirement myths, financial myths that so many of us do believe and apply to our savings plan simply because we see them as truth, that can mess us up. What are some of the common financial / retirement myths that you see people too often leaning into, Mike?
Well, I think the biggest one is that you can't really be specific. I think people think that we need to use generic rules. Like, you know, the rule of 4% or different ones like that. And you can really dial in how much you're going to pay in taxes. You can really dial in your income and inflation and have a real specific fine point on it so you can feel really comfortable. Okay. I think people think it's more of like, well, as long as the market does this, I should be okay. Or if the market goes down, I probably need to adjust. Rather than having a really specific detailed plan.
Okay.
There are ways to put finite numbers and specific details on your retirement in a way that gives you comfort. I had some people come in, Jeff and Tara. They're out of Cascade, and they're both 62, had about $1.5 million. And Jeff was convinced that if they didn't have $2 million, he couldn't retire. Convinced, because he read it in an AARP article a couple of years ago that, hey, with inflation and all this stuff, you need $2 million to retire. And So he was dogmatic that he couldn't retire until then. He also was using the rule of 4%, that if I get $2 million, then I can take out $80,000 a year and live off of it after tax, plus my Social Security and her Social Security. So that was his mind. I have to get to $2 million. And he was thinking he had to work to 65 or 66 to get to $2 million to then retire. And I understood where he came from because they had some goals and he was afraid of messing them up. They wanted to travel, they wanted a new car, and they wanted to do a remodel on their house. Those are their big three. I always sit down and people say, what are the big three things you want to do in the next 5 years when you retire?
Yeah.
Want to travel, new car, and want to remodel.
Yeah.
Great. So let's do it. So we built a plan out. We took him through a real fiduciary level planning process where you just answer a lot of questions, do a lot of fact finding, a lot of research. And as we walked through it with them, we examined all the options and showed them that if he retired today with $1.5 million, we could set up their portfolio in a way to guarantee them the income they wanted, plus spending money regardless of market volatility. Market goes up, they take advantage of it. Market goes down, they still get their income. So we kind of went through the scenario and said, what makes the most sense for you guys? And here's how you can do it. In times like this, it's good to have some guarantees and some safety. Now, you can't guarantee market returns. You can't guarantee that things are going to always go your way. But there are some ways of taking care of your income where the market can't hurt you. And again, when situations, market's down to start the year off, how do we build a plan that says, even when the market's bad, I still get to do what I want to do? That's what can be built. Income that can't be wrecked by market corrections. It's a valuable tool if you want a peace of mind-based retirement. For Jeff and Tara, it gave them permission to not only retire early, but start doing the things that they've wanted to do. Take the trip to Europe that they've been putting off. Things that they said, well, maybe someday, maybe someday. We were able to bring someday up to today and let them start doing things while they're healthy and can do it. For them, that moved them from a place of hope to a place of confidence. Right? You can hope something goes well. We all have hope. I like to think we all have hope. I hope that this works out. I hope this, but hope doesn't give you confidence. A plan, knowledge, information, and being informed, that gives you confidence.
Right.
So when you build a life plan, when you build a retirement roadmap and you see the whole thing mapped out in front of you, you go from wondering to knowing. You say, oh, I see my life right there on paper. Every year from now to age 100, here's the income. Here's the taxes we pay. Here's how we minimize those taxes. Here's how I deal with it. All of those things factored out. Those can be laid out in a simple to understand, detailed plan. If that's what you're looking for, if you're just like Jeff and Tara and said, I'm tired of wondering, I'm tired of reading articles and being confused. I just want to know that if the market goes well, we do well. If the market goes poorly, we still do well. We still live our life. We don't change our retirement plans one bit. If you want to have those conversations and see your retirement mapped out on a piece of paper right in front of you, give us a call, 616-512-2127, or you can reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com. Set up a time for us to go together and just so you know what that looks like. You call in and our team that's waiting gets you on the phone with me. We set up a time for us to chat, to hear your story, see what you want life to look like and what your fears and concerns are. And we try to put that all to ease with a detailed plan that's built around you and your family, not around the financial institutions, not around the newspaper articles or the online articles that are trying to get you to click through. Who cares about that stuff? What really matters is your life and your goals.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, building that out. There's a lot of myths that are out there. Let's hit a couple of them to really kind of walk through it.
Yeah.
The first one, Social Security is going bankrupt. Take it early. That's a big one. Now, Social Security going bankrupt is not a thing that's actually on the docket right now. Cuts to Social Security benefits are a real issue. By 2032, 2033, we have to deal with this as a country. But taking it early without understanding the consequences is not wise.
Okay.
So should you take it early? I'm a firm believer of if you're retired, you should probably turn on your Social Security for the most part. So if you're 62 and you're retired, turn that sucker on. Start getting that income coming in for you and your spouse.
Turn it on. If you're listening to us on Wood Radio right now.
For most people,
Okay.
right? Again, I'm not giving absolute answers, but people say, well, should I let it grow? Should I wait and let it grow by 8% per year? But now I got to pull money out of my 401k to cover my lifestyle that my Social Security benefits should be paying.
Yeah.
But if you're still working, there's an income limit. You can only earn $23,400 before they start withholding your Social Security benefits. So that's why I say, if you're fully retired, I tend to lean towards taking your Social Security benefits. I like it. Why? You've paid in for 40 years. It's time for them to start paying out. So I typically lean that way, but not always. But people say, well, if it's going to go bankrupt, you got to take it early. If you're still working and you turn on Social Security before full retirement age, they're going to withhold it. You're not going to get that money back. So there's, when do I take Social Security is a great question. There is no absolutes in it. Every family is different. If you're both working and you're going to work to full retirement age, you may want to let it cook until full retirement age. If you're both retired, you may want to turn them on right now, because I'd rather checks that clear than better than checks that are promised to me in the future. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of thought to it, but it needs to be built around your plan specifically.
Okay.
So myth number one, it's going bankrupt, take it early. I don't know about that. But also then I'd say the other side of that myth is wait as long as you can. Let it grow by 8% every year.
You're saying that is a myth, the idea of waiting.
I think that's
70.
also a myth, right? It does grow by 8%. However,
does it benefit
they're going to give you $22,000 this year, and they say, but if you wait 5 years, they'll give you $30,000, right? That's the model, right? I can get $22,000 a day, or in 5 years, I can get $30,000. So I'm going to give up $22,000 this year, next year, the following. I'm going to give up $110,000 to get $8,000 more a year. Well, I mean, we can do the math. It's going to take
a long time,
15 years before I make up the money I could have gotten.
Yeah.
So there's just some give and take to this. It's not as simple as do or don't take it. It's about your family and about your situation. And if you want to know, like if you want to see the numbers laid out for your Social Security and your retirement plan, that's one of the biggest questions. When do I retire? When can I retire? When should I turn it on? We run an income plan scenario that tells you, if you take this, here's what it looks like. If you wait, here's what it looks like. And so you can know with confidence and certainty that here is the effect of taking Social Security at 62, 63, 65, 67, 70, whatever it is. If you'd like one of our complimentary income reports that just tells you line by line, here's what you're going to get each year. Here's how it affects the rest of your portfolio. If you say, Mike, I'd like to have that, give us a call and we will run a Social Security income report for you. Give us a call, 616-512-2127. And just let them know when you call in, say, hey, I want to talk to Mike about getting an income report, and we'll get you set up. And it's great to know that.
Yeah.
So myth number 1A and 1B, take it early or wait really long. Those are both myths.
Yeah. Because
there is no hard and fast rule. It's figuring out what makes sense for your family.
Yeah.
I'd say myth number 2, healthcare is only going to cost you about $100,000 in retirement. There's a number that floats around. $100,000 is what I need.
Okay.
Maybe. Right. Does that include long-term care? Does that only include your Medicare premiums? Have you funded your HSA enough to cover a lot of this stuff? What is your family history? What is your health situation? Is there a genetic component for you for Alzheimer's? Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into this thing. Mm-hmm. And does it have to cost you $100,000? Not necessarily. We can use really not complicated, but really sophisticated estate planning tools that can eliminate a lot of that. Or we can use insurance companies' money to pay for the bill. So there's a lot of ways you can do it, and it's not right for everybody every time. I remember this. I have a client named John. He called me in a panic. And I was like, what's going on? He says, we got to get all of my money into an irrevocable trust. I said, okay. Again, or irrevocable, depending on how you say it.
Tomato.
Attorneys call it irrevocable because they're better than the rest of us. But I said, an irrevocable trust. Okay, what's going on, John? He goes, we got to get it in there. I said, what happened? He said, this nursing home has just taken all of my mom's money. And she had to go in. And John's 63 at this point. His mom's going into a home and they are just taking all of her money. I said, okay. And he's afraid. There's nothing he can do so much about his mom's situation. We actually did find some solutions for that.
Okay.
But he's concerned that it's going to happen to him and his wife.
Okay.
So I said, John, you and Lisa come in. Let's talk it through. And we walked through the options. And I understood why he was so concerned. And I said, here's options A, B, C, and D to protect your money from long-term care spend down, from the nursing homes taking all your money. Let's figure it out. And we went through and found the ones that made the most sense. And it actually was a blend of 2 or 3 options.
Okay.
So we said, we're going to get this into a trust. We're going to get this into an insurance product. We're going to get this on the side saved in cash. So we did what made sense for him and for his family. But it is a fear. It can be way more than 100,000 or it could be really low if you just plan in advance and take care of it. Myth number 3, the 4% withdrawal rule. Just do that and you'll be fine. I already told you the example earlier. For Jeff and Tara, it said they had to wait till they were $2 million to make it work.
Right.
We were able to do it with 1.5 million, just using newer information, newer metrics and data.
Right.
You don't have to wait for news rule of 4%. And lastly, the myth is you'll spend less in retirement. Well, when you're retired, you'll spend less. Well, I'll tell you this. If I retire on June 30th, July 1, I'm probably on vacation somewhere, spending some money. And spending it in a way that I wouldn't have spent had I had to be at work. So I don't think the first 5 years of retirement, you should take a pay cut, because those are the most healthy, able-bodied years you have. You should not be taking a major pay cut just because you retired. In fact, we should be stockpiling money. That way, the first 5 years of retirement, you are knocking that bucket list down. You are going to Europe. You're rebuilding the deck. You're buying the boat. You're doing the things you wanted to do, because at some point, you're not going to be able to spend the money anymore. Your body's not going to want to move. Your will to do all the stuff's going to go away a little bit. And you're going to say, now I'm stockpiling money when I should have spent it younger. We want to use our money to live a productive life, to live a generous life, to make a difference in this world. And don't feel like you have to hold on and wait because you're going to spend less in retirement. You don't have to. But if you just use old rules, you just use old metrics, and you don't use today's information, you will. So I encourage you, have a plan that is built for you and your family. If you are a traveler and you want to travel and you say, the day I retire, I'm hitting the road and we're going to go see these things, do it. You need a roadmap that tells you how to do it. That doesn't say take out 4% of your accounts, but instead front load your retirement, pays you more now. That way, when you're 85, it can reduce down a little bit and can be protected. Don't let generic rules and bad information put you in a situation where you're not having easy Sunday mornings like this. You're not having situations where you can just relax and enjoy the view, sit on the lake, hang out, do whatever with your kids and grandkids. Don't let just sales pitches and bad information that really favor the financial industry and doesn't favor you. Don't allow big box financial to dictate your retirement. You say what you want to do. Have a plan that makes sense for you and your family. A fiduciary-based plan that says, here's your income. Here's your taxes. Let's deal with risk. Let's deal with insurances. Let's deal with estate planning. All the pieces together so you can know at the end of the day, I'm doing what's right for my family and the market can't take it away. The nursing homes can't take it away. That's a good retirement plan. If that's what you're looking for, if you want to understand that, give us a call, 616-512-2127. People are waiting right now for us to get, again, if you want that income report to understand where you get your income, if you want to understand how to build a full life plan for your life, give us a call. We'll set up a time for us to talk and answer your questions and see what we can do to be of service. 616-512-2127, or you can reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com.
There's this article on Kiplinger.com that's interesting because it's claiming that how you approach your first year of retirement sets the tone for the entire retirement, all the years that come after it. And it also points out, it seems that there are two categories the majority of us fall into. One is we get to retirement, we see the freedom, we see our savings, and we just overdo it a bit too much. We just spend more money than we should. Flip side, there are a group of people that they don't spend any money at all. They sit there so afraid of running out of money, they rob themselves of the life that they've worked so hard to have, that they deserve, that they've earned, Mike. So this article goes on to discuss that it takes us about 2 years to really find our footing, our happy place. Of course, none of us want to hear the word budget, especially after decades of working and saving. We want to finally live the life that, again, we've earned. Don't call me a budget. How dare you wash your mouth? That was so. But if we flip it around, maybe we use the word, it's not a budget, it's a spending plan.
Yeah.
That sounds more, okay, yeah, I like it. I want to spend. Do you think that we're missing, because we talk all the time, you got to get your income plan set up. Maybe you and I here on the radio each week, we're missing something. We need to start talking about the income and spending plan that work together in retirement.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a psychology element to it, right? Yeah. Like, don't tell me what I can't do, but tell me what I can do.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I was watching this coaching podcast because I coach my kids in basketball. And one of the things said, there's a scientific study done that if you tell the kids, I'm proud of you, they get a certain amount of like a dopamine hit or whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you tell them you should be proud of yourself for what you just did,
yeah,
it is a radically higher psychological response when you're telling them, hey, you should be proud of what you just did.
Yeah.
Because that's incredible. You worked so hard. You got steals. You did a good job. You should be really proud of what you just did. It puts some pride and ownership in the kid.
Okay.
And it actually gives them a better response and saying, hey, dad's proud of you. They do respond to dad's proud of you, and they need to hear that I'm proud of them, hear that I love them, all that stuff. But it's just interesting, the psychology,
the self-belief.
If you know that you did right and you should be proud of yourself. So now let's move that to retirement planning. Yeah. You should know what you can spend comfortably in retirement. You should know that. And because what we're able to spend in retirement a lot of times is a direct result of what we've saved during our working years. And so when we build a plan and you've been working, and a lot of people, they worked, they earned, and they saved for retirement, but really it was they're throwing in the 401k. So they didn't have to sacrificially save as much as if they had to cut a check to their own savings account.
You don't even feel it.
It is sacrificial. If a 401k savings is money you could have spent before, so I'm not saying it's not sacrificial, but I am saying that if it just payroll deducts, it's way easier than if you have to cut a check for it.
Yeah.
And so now that we go to retire, like, all right, great, this is my money and I'm ready to use it. So you get people who are on two extremes, who either are really comfortable spending it or are really not comfortable spending the money. And they've been savers, and as a result, now they're terrified of spending money. So we just have to make sure we understand who we are as people and account for it. Be self-actualized. Understand your good and bad traits, right? Are you a saver? Good. Then we're going to have to fight to get you to spend money. And we deal with this all the time. People come in and there's a reason they have good savings because they did not spend money along the way. And now I'm telling them, you're retired, you're 65. It's time to start using this money. Oh, I'm afraid. What if we run out of it? What if the market? I know. And so we have to go through and build a detailed spending plan. Here is the money that's going to show up every month in your bank account from now till age 100. Spend it, use it, because next month the same check's showing up. And getting people to feel comfortable with spending money if they've been afraid or been a saver is really, really challenging. On the other side, there are those people, and they say in every marriage there's a spender and there's a saver.
I think Kyle and I walk the line on both, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, and you need both, right? Because you can't be broke and you can't be super Scrooge, right? You have to live life a little bit. And so with that, you have to understand that if you're a spender, maybe both of you are spenders, okay, great. We need some type of a payment system that whatever comes in the bank account this month, that's what's free to be spent. And the system, still a spending budget, still spending allowance, but just it's restricted to a certain number so the money can last. We deal with this quite a bit. I had a client, Pete, he retired. And when he came in, he said, I'm finally free. I'm going to enjoy this thing. I'm done working. I'm good to go. And he did. I mean, the first couple of years, and we told him, here's what we suggest you spend a month. And he was like, I got you. But and again, the justification is fair. I'm young, I'm healthy. I want to enjoy this thing. I'm going to spend it. And I get it. So he did trips. He took on some new hobbies. He was helping family members out, which is a trap. Well, I just want to be a blessing. I get it. Do it in stages and in phases, not all at one time. Yeah. But he did all these things. About 8 months in, he comes back nervous. And as we're walking through, he says, I feel like I'm spending too much, but I don't know what's okay.
Right.
I don't know where the line is.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's because, Pete, you're so far past the line. You can't even see the line. The line's a dot to you. And so we have to kind of reestablish some good boundaries.
Okay.
Not that he can't do things.
Yeah.
But we just need to schedule it. Like we need to say, all right, you want to take a cruise? Great. When do you want to do it? All right, I want to do it next February. Sounds good. So we're going to budget for that. And that plus one other thing might be your big things for this year. And we just kind of build a system. Well, so-and-so wants some help with their house. I get it. I think you should. But find out how we can make that one of your things this year. Understand that we use the phrase quite a bit that future you is counting on today you to make some good decisions. And the person that you are going to be in 25 years is really counting on you to make some disciplined decisions now.
Yeah.
So that way we're all set in the future.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean don't spend. It also doesn't mean spend everything.
Okay.
It means just be balanced, be understanding and understand who you are. These are the conversations that build a successful retirement plan. Understanding that the way we did with Pete. And so once you build those plans out, you can feel confident. We didn't give him a strict budget. We built a spending plan. We showed him what he could spend, not what he shouldn't spend. Within a few months, the stress was gone. The enjoyment came back. Freedom comes in knowledge and understanding. For Pete, he just wanted to live his life without worry. And he found out that can be accomplished with good planning. He can feel free to spend according to the spending plan.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different model than just freewheeling or never
willy-nilly,
spending.
yeah.
If you want to understand how a spending plan can help set your life up for comfort, give us a call, 616-512-2127. We will have a conversation, understand who you are, and show you how to build a spending plan that makes sense for you and your family. 616-512-2127, or reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com. Again, just 2 or 3 highlights here. A spending plan beats a rigid budget. A rigid budget is something that will stress you out. It feels negative. A spending plan is more attractive, less restrictive. A plan helps you align your expenses with priorities, right? That's what we really understand. What's most important now, and do those things. Another thing, expect an adjustment period. It typically takes 2 to 3 years of retirement to find your comfort zone. What am I going to do? Am I going to snowbird in the winter? How much does that cost? When you snowbird, how many expenses transfer from Michigan to Florida? And how do we deal with that? How many expenses stay here in Michigan? And how do we build those things? It takes a couple of years. That's okay. You're not going to make it or break it in the first 2 or 3 years, as long as you do it within reason.
Okay.
So understand that. And then finally, flexibility is the key for success. Plans should allow for changes. Health, hobbies, travel, they all can shift over time. Family needs, grandkids, all these things. Your life is not a static picture. It is a moving thing. It's a constant evolution of where you're going and what you want to do and what your family does. If your kids take a job down in St. Louis, Missouri, and now you got to travel down to see your grandkids, life just changed. How do we do that? I met a family in Springfield, Missouri a couple weeks ago. I said, "What are you doing down here?" They said, we lived in Ohio. Our kids came down here for college, got married, set up shop here. So we moved. Their retirement life pivoted because their kids changed locations. This is my only kid. They got grandkids. We're down here now. I get it. That's flexibility. Understanding who you are, what you want life to look like. That's what matters. Give us a call. We will help you build a plan that lives, breathes, adjusts to who you are, and gives you permission to do all the things you want to do. 616-512-2127. Or reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com.
Mike and his team, they're here to help guide you through this process, because at the end of the day, the goal is that you're going to retire one time. But Mike and his team, they're retiring every single day. We're helping folks do that. So they got a wealth of knowledge in their pocket that they're ready to share with you. michigansretirementcoach.com is our website where you can go to start the conversation with Mike and his team, or click on the links we got posted in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit michigansretirementcoach.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.